Hello, everyone. Today we are going to have a serious discussion about Shira 7 because many people listen to her, myself included, and I have some criticisms of her and what she preaches. And I'm an exotic dancer, stripper, right? And everything that I have seen from Shira 7, it's like it's trying to turn the 9 to 5 girlies into sex workers. And then she looks down on actual sex workers. So, there is a famous quote. I don't know who said it, but it's that we are all sex workers in our own right. And I believe there are two different types of relationships. You have the provider relationship where you get with a man, you're stuck with him, he marries you, whatever, you have kids, he pays for everything, but you're stuck. That's still a form of sex work. And then you have the other where I guess you can call it tricking. I don't know. Because tricking means that you have to actually give up sex. So I wouldn't say that like it's the end all be all, but there is a way to, if you are a stripper, sex worker, like there is a way to get money from men for favors and teasing, but not necessarily sexual acts. And my biggest issue with Shira 7 is that she is teaching everyone how to be this when she has lived this. And I think it's very unhealthy for young girls to be listening to, because even as a stripper now, there are some harsh truths that I recognize. I'm 25. I'm not planning on being in this industry hopefully past 30. We'll see. I don't know. I might just do it for fun after that. We'll see. Well, I really like what I do. We'll see. But I'm not trying to be in it past that. And I recognize that my ability to sustain myself is on me and it's not on any man that I date. And every man that I have dated, it has not been transactional. Like, obviously, when I go out with them, they pay for everything, but I'm not expecting whatever man I'm with to be paying my rent and all my bills. And I don't think I should be, because obviously, I have all these other men that I cater to that should be doing that. And the reason I feel like she's so successful is because she is selling a dream that you can be a 9 to 5 girl and find some man who is just going to automatically fall in love with you, some rich man who's going to fall in love with you and want to provide for you and take care of you, and then you stop working. And it's like she's trying to start it over in this category of the sex work category and then shift you over to the provider category when it does not work like that. It doesn't. Maybe in a rare case, but it doesn't. Like, to get to the provider category, you already have to be a pretty self-sustaining woman with a job, with all your own shit, or the man's not even going to respect you enough in the first place to even want to provide for you. And you shouldn't even be in that situation. Like, I have so many stories of girls that I know who have tried to turn this into this, and it doesn't work. Like, for example, I know a girl who she had some guy pay her rent for a year. And crazy story, actually. I went on one date with that guy, and I don't remember why I didn't like him, but I didn't like him. And then he met my friend, and I hope she's doing well. I have a lot of love for her. The situation she was in was just kind of awful, though. But he went out with her. She started a relationship with him. He got her her own apartment, paid for it. But this man had a key and he could come and go whenever he wanted. And she ended up going broke. And that's like kind of her own fault too, because she didn't get another job besides what she had. But then it's like, jobs are not paying enough, which again, that is why this dream that Shira's selling, that if you just, go on some dates and charge the man and expect him to pay all your bills, like, that's why the dream is so successful, because we are in a struggling economy. That's why. But anyways, this girl, She was in that situation, and then she just like eventually went broke, and then he was driving her to the club, and this man had a whole other family, and he put her up, and he went broke because of that. And then I know another girl too, and she was in the same situation. And then that girl, like, again, everything was paid for, a nice apartment, but the girl also went broke because she decided she was going to rely on this rich man. And now this rich man has been like terrorizing her. She can't get a job anywhere else because he'll find her and then he'll talk to whoever's in charge of the place and get her fired. Like, that is the danger of dating these rich, powerful men that everyone wants to be after. Like, once you get involved enough, it is very hard to leave. And men with power, it is hard to leave. And when you're dependent on them and then you create that power imbalance, it's like they feel like they can do whatever they want to and get away with it. That's why the respect thing is always so important for me. And again, a man is not going to respect you if you have your hand out. And even me stripping, it took me a minute to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. But now that I know, it's like the first thing I tell anybody now is that I'm getting my master's. Like, I am getting the fuck out of here. You are not going to see me forever. Like, you think you will, but you're not. And I feel like it creates so much more respect. And every man that I've dated, not everyone's been loaded, but at least everyone has been pretty well off. And they've all been smarter than me, older than me. Hi, baby. Well, not funnier. I'm usually the funny one. But yeah, I would say smarter and older. And all of them have been very experienced in the industries that I'm interested in. And I feel like that's honestly worth more than somebody paying your rent. Like, if you get around somebody who talks about wanting to buy another business and then telling you about the other business that they're managing, and that becomes your baseline for how you should be operating and how the men around you should be operating, like, it just changes your brain. Like, for example, I live alone, and this is all off of my titty money. Everything I have is off of my titty money and my ability to seduce, and I think I'm pretty good at it. But I have all of this now. If you're living with roommates and you become friends with other people who have roommates, like, you think that that's normal. If you're around people who are living alone and then the next step is to buy a house, and then eventually you're around all these people who have houses, you're going to look at the people with roommates as like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, just naturally. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like the biggest gift when dating wealthy men is changing your mindset to be at that vibration. It's just different. It's not a scarcity thing. And I would say that's the biggest thing you get from them. Obviously, they should be paying for the dates and everything, but it's like, why the fuck are you gonna have your hand out for somebody to pay for your nails, pay for your hair, when I feel like if you're such a high value woman, you should be doing that yourself. That's what I think. And you can get it done very cheaply to where it looks great. Like, I just don't agree with, and the Shira 7 thing too, I saw her talking this morning and she was talking shit about girls on OnlyFans and saying that, like, it wasn't a classy thing to do, but everything that you are promoting online is essentially girls whoring themselves out. And even if you are talking about girls withholding sex until they get certain bills paid for, that's still a form of sex work. Like, the center is still sex, and the center is still these men. And I heard something else that I found very interesting this morning, and it was talking about how women are categorized as extremely emotional after sex, which I don't disagree with. But then it's like, well, if you think about men are the ones who are paying for it. Men are the ones who will kill over it, that are always horny for it, that will leave their wife for it. So who is really more emotional about sex? Who really needs it more? Yeah, I thought that was interesting. But back to the, like, withholding of it, it's still centering sex and it's still centering men. Like, if you truly want a life that you love to where you're not stuck and dependent on a man, go back to school, start your business, like, do something. Do a lot of something. And I feel like the reason Shira is so successful right now is because we are in a struggling economy. And I think it's great what she's done. I listen to her a lot, but that is because I'm a stripper. Like, everything she says rings true. But to a normal woman, I don't agree with it. Like, you cannot put someone who lives off of men into the, like, you can't, it's just two categories. You can't switch them over unless you're, I don't know, gonna marry. It's just not a good idea. And even finding the rich men have so much more access to cheat on you. And they're so much more sneakier about it. And you're not going to win. The only way you're going to win is to recognize, okay, I have this limited window of time where society says that I am young and hot and valuable. And then after that window of time, it's done. So it's not necessarily like you seeing yourself that way. It's you seeing, okay, this is how the world sees it. So I'm going to do the most that I can in the short amount of time I have to uplift my life, uplift my education, get into better situations and around better crowds of people, and then I won't be dependent on anybody. No man. That's how I see it, personally. And I feel like I mean, I've been a stripper almost 3 years now. I started when I was 23. So I feel like I know more than the average person, seen more than the average person. Because it's a wonderful dream, you know, to think like, okay, this man wants to go on a date with me. Like, let me charge him my utilities bill. Like, it's a wonderful dream to think that. But the man is not going to respect you the more you have your hand out. You know, it's so interesting too, because at the beginning of when I started dancing, I used to think like, oh, like all these men are going to look down on me because I do what I do. And it's true, some do, but it is worse for a man to look at you as if you have no money and you need to be helped. So, do what you got to do. That's what I think. But yeah, I wouldn't date for money. I wouldn't. I mean, I've seen it in my own family. You know, how do I, I keep getting these allegations of people saying that I tell all their business, but I never use names, never show photos, and I never give too many identifying information. Well, never too many identifying details. For the most part, sometimes I do, but for the most part I don't. So it really bothers me that people say that. But just in my own family, I've seen somebody marry, and it wasn't necessarily for money, but then the person became very wealthy, and then she lived off of alimony. But then it's like, you give your life, this person traumatizes you, this person is, you know, in AA meetings till this day, and then you're living off of their money, but then, like, you've been so traumatized for life to where you didn't start again with somebody new. It just, let me not just talk too much shit. My point is, always have something else going on around you and date somebody who's in your career field or can at least help you learn more about what you want to do. And even if it's not what you want to do, be around somebody who is business minded. Because regardless of what you want to do for a career, if you can at least get around somebody who teaches you how to buy a business and run a successful one, it's worth more. It's worth more than somebody paying you rent. Yes, and that is coming from a stripper. A stripper. One last anecdote. My best friend is in medical school right now, and she's working so hard to be the rich man. But she right now is doing autopsies as like I guess a part-time job. I don't know. I don't understand the whole thing. And the things that she tells me about what she sees, about how all the homicides that come in are done mostly by men, the women who are killed, it's by men, the men who are killed, it's by men, the police, how the police act in those situations, and the misogyny seen from the police, like all of the things that she tells me, and the way she looks at the world too, and the way that I admire how much she has been able to decenter men, because she really just sees them as sex. Oh, that was the other thing too that I was gonna say, like the withholding sex from people to think that they would spend more money. It's only going to hurt you. If you yourself are sexually repressed and then you're repressing somebody else, like, obviously respect is important, consent is very important. I think there should be like some kind of relationship, a valuable relationship established before doing anything, but it's only going to hurt you. You're going to have more energy if you are not frustrated, and then you're going to be able to make more money, have more ideas. Like this idea that we should just not have sex at all unless this man pays for my rent. Like it just, I don't agree with it. But yeah, back again to the autopsy thing, like placing all this importance on men and letting men be the sole providers of your life and your money when they're the one doing all the homicides. Like I have one friend too who, she's not even a friend, but she was just telling me about how she had this man paying for everything, and then he was paying for her apartment, and then he raped her. Just came in one day, boom, raped her. Which, I don't know, that's a rougher situation to be in, so I can't really speak on that. Cannot speak on that at all, but you just don't want to be in that situation. Like, everybody makes it look very hype online and on social media, but in real life it's not. You never want to lose your independence, and you don't want to be with somebody too who knocks your self-esteem down so much that you can't get back up.